Hello, welcome back to This Podcast Takes Tokens. I'm Ryan, joined by my brother Deric, fumbling over my words, whatever. You've hit the podcast where we're going to talk about things that we grew up with loving: movies, music, games, comic books, actors, actresses, all kinds of different things. And today we're going to be talking about Chronicle. It's a little bit different this time. Normally, this is a little bit off of our cadence. Normally Deric does one, then I do one, and we're kind of we decided this year for 2 episodes. Yeah, we decided this year we're going to kind of do something a little bit different, where once a year each of us gets the opportunity to just pick anything we want and talk about it, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to talk about 2012's Chronicle, one of my favorite movies around that time, and we're going to get into the conversation right after this. Stick with us.
Your local video store card.
A comic book in your back pocket.
Games with no tutorials.
Music you had to discover.
And drinking water straight from the hose.
These are the things us millennials remember fondly. We are the Jennings brothers.
Join us after the streetlights come on
as we race our bikes from the top of the hill
right down memory lane.
Exchange those quarters, because this podcast takes tokens.
You know, I gotta say, every time like I see that intro that you've made, and like towards the last part where it pans across and there's all those like Diamond Select figures that are in the glass window there. Oh my gosh, that Wolverine is just so awesome. It's so awesome.
That's the New York comic book store. Oh, I forget the name of it. It's a really popular one. I can't remember the name now. Yeah, awesome. It's the really big popular one in New York.
Yeah, very cool.
But anyway,
yeah. So we're not talking about comic books today. Sort of. Well, maybe a little bit. In a roundabout way, I guess. We're talking Chronicle. Came out on February 3rd, 2012. Again, if you're just hitting with us, a little bit different than what we normally do. We decided once a year that both of us can kind of do a veto, I guess, and
break the rules.
Something that's break the rules a little bit. Talk about anything that we want to. And I picked this movie, so we're going to talk Chronicle today. I said the release date, right? February 3rd, 2012. All right, let's run down the numbers here. Budget of $12 million. All right, pretty small budget for, a movie, I guess. Yeah. Opening weekend. What do you want to guess?
I'm guessing this one didn't do too well. I'm going to put this one opening weekend. Definitely did not recover. I'm going to say $5 million.
You are absolutely wrong. $22 million opening weekend. Okay. Domestic box office.
Okay, so this is the total worldwide.
This one's domestic, so this is like US and Canada.
Okay. Total, like, this is like the whole run. Probably did better than I would assume 35 million, maybe another 10.
64.5 million.
Wow. Okay.
Now, worldwide.
Well, I've been wrong this whole time. I'm going to go with 100 million. Why not?
123.6 million worldwide. Wow. So this movie was a stunning success. Do you remember when this came out?
I do not remember this movie
flew under your radar?
This one flew under my. I had a 1-year-old whenever this one came out, so I did not get any movies or anything at this time. Anything new. Like, I would watch things here and there, but it had to be a pretty big movie for it to come on my radar. And I had never even really heard of this movie until you brought it up recently.
So I brought it up. Okay. Yeah. I don't remember where. I I had to have seen it advertised on TV or something, but like I remember opening weekend, I'm like, oh, I got to go watch that because back then, I mean, I still am, but back then, like I was like way deep into comic books and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, this looks like a superhero, thing or whatever. So I wanted to go see it and loved it when I watched it. Rotten Tomatoes score, tomato meter.
Critics, I don't think they did too favorably of this one. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go with 40% from the critics.
85% from the critics.
Okay, I'm not doing good at this one at all.
No, you're not. Popcorn meter.
Well, the critics are typically under performers, but with this one, it's comic books. People tend to be a little more critical about that sort of thing. I'm going to go with 73.
Oh, you are so close. 72%.
Wow.
You were like right.
Yeah,
right
getting
there.
in the mindset. I'm getting there. Yeah. I would have guessed much lower if the critic one wasn't so high, though.
Yeah, well, that's true. I was honestly surprised when I got on Rotten Tomatoes and looked at this. I remembered this being fairly big, but I don't remember ever looking at the Rotten Tomatoes scores back then. And I don't know. Yeah, I figured this would be, I don't know, low 60s or something like that.
Right. The critics aren't typically favorable of superhero movies to begin with.
No,
so I'm surprised by the 80-something.
Yeah. Pleasantly surprised for myself. But so what is your first time watching this movie? You've never heard of it before until
you brought it up.
Hey, let's do it. What did you think about the movie?
Oh, this one had one of my least favorite things.
Yeah.
Found footage. I'm not a fan of the found footage movies. The camera work is just always shaky, and it feels like they're always trying to cover something up with it. So that was a pretty big strike against it for me to begin with. It was really kind of slow, I felt like, in the beginning. But I get what they were doing. They're setting some things up. And it was okay. I wasn't super impressed with it. I don't think I'm going to go out of my way to watch it again. But yeah, it was okay. Like, I feel like it could have been better. I feel like the found footage thing kind of hurt it. Like if they hadn't done this whole found footage aspect or angle for it and done it and shot it a little more traditionally, I feel like it could have been better. And then they could have still incorporated footage, here and there, like of him like obsessing with the camera and stuff like that. But I don't feel like the whole thing needed to be all found footage. Like usually a found footage film is like there was lore behind it. Like they found this footage and they're going through and they're, I don't know, figuring out what happened or something like that. But there was none of that. It was just like this footage without any real context behind it as far as like who has it or who's watching it or anything like that. And I felt like it was kind of like they were like, oh yeah, let's do a found footage. But then there was like no like real understanding as to why you would want to use found footage as a narrative device. Yeah. That's kind of what I felt like on that. What would you think upon rewatching it? It's been a while for you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think when I first watched this, like I said, I really enjoyed it. As soon, like day one when it came out on Blu-ray, I went out and bought it. Like I've got it over in my collection over here. But rewatching it now, yeah, I thought the found footage was a little bit of a stretch this time. And especially, so some of it I thought was okay. Like I liked the tricks that they used with, like Andrew levitating the camera, and just not necessarily the camera tricks, but just the idea of him, like, he's documenting like his abusive cameraman. Yeah. Like and real quick, one thing I hated in this movie, I had a hard time watching the abuse. Like that was,
it was pretty rough.
Like
it was a bit over the top too. I felt like it was a little forced. Like I didn't feel like that was earned. I didn't understand where it was coming from. Well, I mean, I kind of like, I guess like his wife or his mother, whoever's character you're looking at it from, has cancer and they're dealing with that within the family and everything. Was he a former firefighter or was she a former firefighter?
He was.
Okay.
And then he got injured. And then like, so he's like collecting the insurance money or whatever it is now. But
where did you get that information from?
He's talking to Michael B. Jordan about it at one point when they're in the vehicle. Like he's asking him about his Michael's asking him about his dad. Steve, I guess, is who Michael B. Jordan plays, but he's asking about his dad, and then he tells him, and he starts going into all that. Like he collects the insurance money, and he's pretty much a drunk now or whatever. Which
I'm realizing now I may have made a mistake with this movie. Did you watch the theatrical cut or the director's cut?
I watched the theatrical cut. I know there's a director's cut, and I didn't watch.
There's a director's cut on HBO. I watched that version of it because that was what came up first. It's only like 4 minutes longer. I looked at it afterwards. Okay. So I don't know if like they edited it differently or if there was just a little bit more that got thrown in there.
Yeah.
But I wonder if I missed something because of that. I should have watched this. I should have looked for the theatrical cut of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I mean, he's telling Steve like that's what's up with his dad, and which I'm getting off on a tangent of my found footage thing. I'll circle back to that in just a second. But that's another thing that irritated me with it. Like, and this is just from a standpoint of his father, where like his father at one point finds the camera, and then he starts like hitting him, and everything. And he's like, you've got a $500 camera over here and your mom's hurting, whatever. I'm like, you idiot. Like, how much money are you blowing on alcohol? Like when she's, hurting or whatever. But,
or like, how did he get them? Like, I don't know about you, but like my kids can't exactly tap into my funds and just go buy like a $500 camera. Like, where do you think he got the money from?
He got it from
any money he had has to have been like earned in some way, right?
Yeah.
Like allowance or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like he's like stealing from him or something.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like, and I felt like that was a little bit heavy handed. Like, I'm like, where's this coming from? Like, I get like the guy's upset because he can't work his job anymore, whatever. And he's got a lot of stress at home. And I don't know. I just felt like some of that was unwarranted a little bit. And they were just kind of using it just to push the finale a little bit. But yeah, the back to the found footage thing. Yeah, I really didn't like. I was okay with having Andrew's camera on things. I was not okay when all of a sudden it switches to whatever that girl is that Matt like has a romantic relationship, whatever. Like
it just started jumping to other cameras randomly.
Yeah. And then at the end, it's like they almost like they need to shoot these big, shots of what's going on. And then it was like, they were like, oh crap, this is a found footage film. How do we do this? Oh, let's say it's like the news camera,
right.
The news camera.
Or just random people in their apartment shooting out their windows or whatever.
Yeah. And I didn't.
That's going on. I'm not filming it. Like, I don't know about you, but the camera coming out of my pocket isn't everybody in this film seemed to like be obsessed with filming everything.
Like I get the end, the hospital, Andrew blows open the hospital and then you see out of the dust, he's like, levitating with his dad. Sure. If I'm down on the ground, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, look at this,
Yeah.
But yeah, like if they're throwing each other through buildings and stuff, I'm not going to be like, Mom, look at this. Like, hey, watch out.
Flying through my floor. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. The found footage thing, I thought this movie could have been just as well done without that found footage aspect. They could have still done some tasteful shots, like with security cameras, like when he comes into the gas station, and it shows like him shoving the guy, telekinetically shoving the guy into the cigarettes or whatever, like stuff like that they could have done. But I don't know. The other thing that I had trouble believing, my cat is doing something really weird.
Didn't gain superpowers, did he?
What's that?
Didn't gain superpowers, did he?
I don't know. But the other thing that I thought was a little bit strange was, so Andrew, he does the talent show and everyone's like, oh man, this is great. And Steve's like backing him, and they go to the party And then, like, you know, him and that gal go to the bedroom and he throws up. And then it's like, this is like a switch. And I just felt like it was like a little bit too forced for him to just be like, oh, now everybody hates him. And now he's like, he hates everybody else just because of this whole thing. I don't know.
It felt very unrealistic. The attitudes in it definitely felt like it was not from the perspective of a high school student, but from the perspective of like a 40-year-old remembering what high school was like in like the early 90s or late 80s or something like that. And the whole found footage thing, I feel like it could have, I don't know, it either needed a better excuse for why they were filming the entire thing found footage, or just like a little bit here and there, touches of it. It doesn't need to be the whole thing. But and then you were talking about at the end with the whole big fight scene at the end, at one point he like pulls everybody's cameras out of their hands, and then just like he's pointing them at himself, so like the whole fight he's also controlling all these cameras around him, which I found a little, I don't know, hard to believe. Like that he could maintain that, like because there were times where he got knocked out for a minute or two, but the cameras are still like swirling around. But then whenever he's laying in the hospital bed, he's unconscious, but then that camera starts pulling in closer to him right before he wakes up. So I don't know. I don't fully understand the power set either. Like they find, I'm guessing, an alien artifact or something.
Yeah, so I was curious what your thought was on that. Like, what do you think that was? Because I do have the answer. I found where Max Landis, who was the writer, had said what that was, but I'm curious what you thought that was at first.
It's got to be ancient alien artifact, you know, like Indiana Jones, Crystal Skulls or something. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, then that's kind of what I thought when I saw it too. Max Landis, the writer, had said, I guess it's an ancient object, that it's like a creature that communicates via radio waves and turns life forms into telekinetic drones.
Drones.
I don't really need that explanation. I almost like it better to just
be ambiguous
and you not know what that is, and then the hole's gone when they go back there or when they wake up, you know, or whatever. Like they go back there the next day, the hole's gone. Like
it's collapsed in a little bit.
Yeah. I like the
and then there's like the government agents and everything crawling all over it as if they've taken over the site and they're gonna, I don't know, start following up on it or something like that. But I thought aliens was kind of my first guess. The whole turning them into drones thing, that like drone to me sounds like you're following orders from some other being and you're not in control of yourself, which they all three
completely in control.
Very in control, because they all had maintained their relative personalities. Although it didn't seem like they knew the Steve guy before, really. Like they knew of him, acquaintances, I suppose, through school, but they'd never really hung out before. And then this thing happens, and of course, you know, like there's something like this, you're going to grow like closer together, I suppose. But then like I guess they become best friends or something, or
I mean, I think they start. You know what it's like when you're that age. Like you start hanging out with somebody, and you're hanging out with somebody for day after day. Like you're
right. Even just like a week later, you
become best friends. Yeah,
pretty tight, quick. Yeah, fast friends.
Yeah. Now I lost my train of thought. I was going to say that. But.
So this is 2012, and they're actually set in 2012. Why is he using like an old, like a camcorder, and not like his phone to film stuff? Like, is he just like
because they've got like iPhones and stuff.
Like other people are using iPhones and stuff like that. If I felt like him using a camcorder made it a little like, I don't know, like I'm gonna do this thing and I want everybody to notice it.
I think that's what it is.
Type of a thing.
Like I think that he almost wants the attention, but doesn't want the attention, if that makes any sense at all. Like, I don't know.
But at the same time, whenever he starts developing his powers, he does turn the camera on himself a lot.
Yeah.
And he's like focused on himself a lot. There's definitely a lot of like, there's some narcissism at play.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something like I don't understand, especially when he's going out to commit crimes, which I fully understand his motivation behind that. Like he has a pure motivation in mind of like he's wanting to get this medication for his mom. Completely get that. And that pulls at the heartstrings a little bit when you're watching it. Because especially like, okay, he comes up to the guys and the drug dealers or wherever they are, like, fine, beat the crap out of them. I don't care. But like when he's in the gas station, there's just like the desperation in his voice of just like, come on, you know, trying to get that money in there. Yeah. And I was like disappointed when that goes down and it blows up and he, you know, he's in jail, or no, he's not in jail, but he's arrested obviously, but he's in, you know, his downfall really is,
it ended quickly.
There. It did. And I do like the character of Andrew. It's like a tragic character, you know, or whatever. But I think like, you know, at the end, Matt is like talking to the camera, you know, and he's like, I know that wasn't you or whatever. And I agree with him. I don't think that was Andrew. I think it's just like, you know, his father had pushed him to a point of just, he was fed up with everything. And then he's got people, you know, just hating him at school and this and that. And I think that's gonna, you know, weigh on anybody. And you're just gonna, you know,
one day you're gonna snap.
One day you're gonna snap.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you think like he could have? Okay, he needs the money. He needs let's say $700 for this medication. What's a better way he could have got that than just instantly going to beating up and robbing people?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways. I think honestly, like he could have went to, I don't know, he could have went to a church, or he could have went to, you know, some community help center or something and say, you know, my mom needs this. But I also, as somebody that has worked in pharmacy for a lot of years, I also think that
you got a qualm with next day delivery?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was reading a note my daughter gave me. I also think that a good pharmacy will do everything in their power to try and figure out how to get that medication to you, and to get it to you as cheap as they can, just based on the pharmacies I've worked for. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There had to have been a better way than that.
There had to have been. I was thinking about it, like as soon as like the guy was like, he needs $700, I thought, oh, he's going to go like rip an ATM out of the wall or something like that.
Oh, nope. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But that would have been an easy way to do it, I felt like. Or, you know, he's got that really sensitive touch. He probably could have just walked up to an ATM and had it like spit out a bunch of cash.
Yeah.
But no, he went straight to violence, which I think is telling of the character a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think had that have happened before the party incident, and before I'll even say, had that happened before he had the encounter with his dad, where he just like grabs him and throws him up against the wall, because that happened right before he goes out to try to get the medication. Because his dad's downstairs and his mom's, you know, crying in bed. I don't think he would have went that route. I think that he was done, and he was fed up.
Let's back up to whenever they're first discovering their powers, and they're driving, and there's that redneck truck on their butts on the road, and he swipes across the front of it and runs it off the road into the water. That was kind of. I think that was a little hint of it coming up as well, of his aggression.
You think so? I maybe so. I don't know. I didn't think that. I think yes, he intentionally tried. It was intentional. I don't think that he's a kid. I don't think he like thought he wasn't the consequences through of that. And that's something
through the punch.
And that's something that I think this movie does well. Like, if 3 teenage boys got these powers, this is what they're going to do. They're going to fly up in the sky. They're going to play football in the sky. They're going to use a leaf blower to blow up some of the girls' skirts in school. Like, they're going to do all these little things. And I thought it did that very well. It portrayed a teenage boy with ultimate power very well.
Okay.
Until they do all the stuff with Andrew that I think that part goes over the top. Like the playfulness and stuff like that, I think is done well. Because I mean, what teenage boys are really gonna, I'm gonna try to blow up a hospital, and I'm gonna destroy the whole city of Seattle, and I'm, you know what I mean?
Oh, like, it was definitely like, one thing led to another. It didn't start with the, destruction of downtown or whatever.
Yeah.
For sure.
So what'd you think about Steve's death?
Yeah, I feel like that was what had to happen. Like, he had to have been taken out. I kind of thought that the other friend died a couple times during that, but didn't. And but yeah, I think that he had to have been taken out. It had to have been by the other guy. It couldn't have just been the cops, obviously, because he kept pulling that Neo Matrix trick and stopping all the bullets and everything. But yeah, somebody had to stop, and Steve's not around anymore to do it. So who's gonna?
Andrew's death. Yes,
Andrew's death.
No. We can talk about
Steve.
we can talk about Andrew's death. We can talk about Andrew's death. Let's talk about that, and then we can talk about Steve's. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, he didn't give. I think he was at a point of no return. Like, everything had just. When you're that angry, like as a kid, I used to have some anger issues, and I know, like, you get that angry, you get tunnel vision. You can't see anything else.
Yeah.
And like, I can see like that happening. I hated that Matt had to kill him. I hated it.
Yeah. But I don't feel like there was another way. He wasn't going to stop.
Nope.
And really, like, the only way it was going to stop was either he would surrender and, let them. It's like Superman. He's got to let them arrest him. They can't take him by force. He has to let them, conduct their process.
Yeah.
Or he has to be taken out. And there's really no other way. And unfortunately, it was he has to be taken out part.
Yeah.
But Steve's death.
Yeah,
that one was. I didn't realize it happened at first, and then we were at the funeral. Like, I guess it was really quick. Like, he died, and then a second or two later, we're at the funeral. But I didn't realize that he died, and then we see funeral, and it's like, oh wow, he like that. That's all it took. Like a little lightning strike. I didn't. Yeah. It's kind of weird. And then for them to say that there were no lightning strikes reported, even though he died from a lightning strike, I felt like was a little odd.
Well, so what they're hinting at there, because so when I first watched this, I agree with you. That was my thought on it. Rewatching it a couple times, what they're hinting at is, so Andrew's the one that he caused the lightning bolt to hit him. Like,
he like force lightninged him.
He manifested that lightning bolt. Now, there was other lightning bolts. Well, sorry, let me take that back. There was lightning in the clouds. You could see that at different spots. When they're saying it didn't strike anywhere, it never hit the ground. But Andrew forced that lightning bolt to hit Steve.
Through him.
Okay. Yeah, it went through him and it killed him. And then later, like, he takes him and he lays him in a field, and that's where they find him. And they're like, oh, he got struck by lightning. But there's no recorded lightning strikes anywhere else around here. So that's, I don't know if that makes any sense to you or not. But
no, I get that. My thought was more like, there was still lightning in the air. Like there was lightning. It just wasn't striking the ground, I suppose. But okay, it was an electrical storm.
Yeah,
and like, can they track every single individual lightning strike from the weather stations? I don't know. I'm not a meteorologist. I couldn't answer that question, but I feel like there could be a lightning strike in the middle of a field, like, and nobody's watching. How, like, you know, if a tree falls in the forest, how do you, and, you know, does anybody know or whatever? But I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a meteorologist. I don't know the answer to that question. I was just like, okay, fine, sure. Yeah. But like, I mean, I feel like it was more like, you know, whenever you're little and you do something wrong and your parents like, you know, I know what you did. I know you did this thing. Even though they never saw it, they have no real proof. They just know because of the guilt on your face.
Yeah.
I feel like it was more of that. Yeah. Like, he just knew because he was guilty and he was projecting it. But yeah, that was kind of my theory on it.
Yeah.
So who do you think was the most powerful of the three?
Oh, it's Andrew. Definitely. I think it was Andrew. Like,
you think it was Andrew?
Oh yeah. He flexed that muscle more than anybody else, right? He's constantly testing it and constantly using it for different things. I think it's Andrew, and then, well, I don't even know. I don't know who the second one would be. I think it would almost have to be Matt, based off of what we see at the end, in their little showdown. Yeah. And then Steve, because Steve even says, like, yeah, Steve's the first one to learn to fly and to do all that. But he even like tells Andrew, he's like when they're up on the skyscraper and they're eating, you know, or whatever. And he's like looking at the camera and he's like, I don't know how you do that. Like, how do you have the finesse for that? Like, I don't have that. Like, I would just like throw something through the camera. Like, I don't know how to control it. I don't know. What did you think?
I think they all kind of seem to have like different strengths, is what it seemed like. And, Steve's character seemed to be more well-rounded, a little more experimental. Like, he could kind of like figure things out a little quicker than the other two, or he was tapping into something that the other two weren't. But I feel like Andrew's character definitely, once he learned a skill, he hyper-focused on sharpening that skill for sure. And then, who was the last one?
Matt.
What was the other guy's name? Matt, yeah. He definitely was more of a grower, like, over time.
Yeah.
And later on would develop more. I'm curious, though, like, how long do you think it takes him to fly to Tibet from Seattle?
Oh, no, because I mean they're fast, but I mean they're not like faster than a jet airliner, right?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Not faster than, like, they're not breaking like the sound barrier or anything, because like they're still like flesh and blood. So like you could only move so fast before like your skin starts to rip off your bones.
Yeah.
Through the air like that. So they were talking about going to Tibet and back in a day. I'm like, I don't know that you could fly to Tibet and back in a day.
No, I don't think so.
And if you're like what's your range like? Because you would have to be able to fly for, like, let's say at least a day over water.
Oh yeah,
with no brakes.
Yeah,
yeah.
You'd have to go to, like, well, if anything, I guess you could go up through Canada and then hop from Alaska over to Russia and then down that way. So you're not, you know, that cuts your...
Take you much longer.
Yeah, well, yeah. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Some islands in between here and there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That was kind of my thought whenever they kept talking about, like, flying all over the world. I'm like, how fast are you? Because, like, it's not like you can go, like a rocket and go up into, like, the upper atmosphere and then come back down. Like, you still need to breathe air, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was like,
unless they're learning other things.
Maybe
I don't know.
Other things.
Like,
I would have liked to have known more about what makes up their power set, I feel like. But, and then, like, they're the only 3 people to ever discover this and get these powers. I think the government definitely locked that down and took over that site, and probably even took the device. Well, maybe not, because later on he goes back to the field, and the field has this weird, like, circular pattern over where the device used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's just buried.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think they're the first, and I don't think they're the last. We could have a sequel. How do we not have
we should have with 123.
You said it made so much it made. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like almost surprised. 10x.
Yeah. I don't know. You would think most studios, I feel like, would be jumping on that sort of a,
right?
Profit. Say, hey, yeah, I'm getting a hold of the writer and let's start on part 2, unless I guess maybe the writer could have just been like, no, this was just a one-time thing. But I will say, like,
studios like to run with it anyways.
That's true. They can find somebody else to do it. Yeah. For anybody out there that is, somebody might be screaming at me. I don't know. Yes, this movie was heavily influenced by the anime Akira. It was so like this, basically, this is like the American version of Akira. Like, it's almost to a T the same story. I'm
not familiar with Akira.
Yeah, well, we've got it on our list. We need to watch it.
Oh, okay. That's that animated one from like the early 80s, like that really popular Japanimation.
Yeah. But I could just see somebody somewhere saying, "Well, this is just Akira." Yes, it is. Even the writer has said that Akira heavily influenced him.
Do you think their whole like nosebleed thing influenced Stranger Things with 11 in the nosebleed when she exhausts her powers?
I hope so. Yeah.
A little tie in there.
Yeah. Everything influenced Stranger Things.
Right? Ooh, maybe this is like, I don't know, has something to do with they could tie it together, right? Sure. This could be a retroactive sequel to Stranger Things because it's set in modern times. Sure. Let's go with that. Not at all. Not even close to the same power sets.
Yeah, I wish we could have gotten. I would have liked to have seen a sequel, even if it was Matt like encountering somebody else that's got this power set that he has to deal with now. Because, at the end, he's talking about, like, I'm going to go and I'm going to use this for good and I'm going to help people, or whatever. And because he can't go back to the United States like that. He takes off because for all they know, he was responsible for
everything,
doing all that. But I would have liked to seen something with him, being Superman saving the day or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, maybe. Yeah. Don't do a found footage again, though.
How would you do this? Could you do this, a sequel, without it being found footage, since the first one was?
Well, I think you start with him doing a vlog style, like talking to the camera type of thing. Mm-hmm. And then he puts down the camera and we go to normal film shooting, cinema style or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. And then every once in a while, maybe he pops onto a camera or something like that, talks to camera, or, conducts a blog or whatever. Mm. Yeah. If we want to go full, he's going full, Dark Avenger or whatever, he could adopt, some superhero alter ego with a mask and everything, vlog about his escapades. And that's how it starts, is he's vlogging about, what he's been up to and, who he's taken down and what he's discovered and all this other stuff, and maybe kind of hinting at some big overarching villain or story or something like that. And then, his everyday life is just normal cinematography. Mm-hmm. And then he jumps on and does a vlog every so often to update the audience on what's been going on, and then kind of phase that out slowly throughout the film. But I feel like that's how you could do it. Yeah. That's it. There you go. There's your sequel. Stamp, done.
There we go.
How would you do a sequel? How would you do it? You've obviously thought of this more than me.
Yeah, I don't know how it would be shot. It would be like I had said, Matt. It picks up right where it leaves off or something, and Matt's it just follows him, and he goes he's in Tibet, he goes to some monastery or whatever, and he ends up encountering some big bad along the way that's you don't know is a big bad. At first he like meets this person that's can do the same things he does, and he finds out like, oh yeah, I found this ancient thing as well in the mountains over here, or whatever. And or maybe it's here's even a wilder thought. Maybe it's a whole just a whole monastery where they all have that power set because they have found, they're like some isolated group of monks that have found this thing, and that's, they just kind of keep it themselves. And he thinks it's all about
to keep it hidden.
Keep it hidden. But then he, like over time, like, the good starts to crumble away from what they're doing, and he realizes that this is a bad thing, and maybe they have some overarching thing of like, we're gonna, I don't know, go out and do something bad. I don't know. So, he's gonna stop it. I don't know.
We're gonna be bad.
I don't know. So that would be that. I don't know. Something like that. I think that would work for me.
All right. So the guy that plays Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recognize him from anything else. You think like he just wasn't that big of an actor, and so they're like, we can't really like form a sequel, right? Because like the big actor in that first one was the guy that played Andrew, who was also in he had just done the Amazing Spider-Man playing Osborn and all that. So he was kind of there, or Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, obviously. Like that's,
both those characters got, Well, even then, like he was up and coming at the time. Like I think they
came off the wire.
They were about to do Fantastic Four with him.
Yeah.
So he was just coming up, but both those characters get killed off, and all you're left with is Matt, who isn't a big enough draw, I would assume, for a lead in a movie.
Yeah.
So that's my theory. That's why we haven't had a sequels, because he's not a big enough draw.
I agree with you. I will say his name's Alex Russell. He was in the entire series of SWAT, I guess. 2017 to 2025. He was in SWAT.
That's what he's been busy with.
Yeah, and then he was in Carrie, the 2013 remake of that.
Big part, I don't know, like just like a random character.
Yeah, I can't find it on here. It doesn't say. It is. I don't. Anyway, so he did have some stuff he was doing, but I agree. I think of the three characters, as much as I liked Matt at the end, the climax and everything, I thought it was great. I was rooting for him. He was the weakest of the three characters. Yeah. Steve has the charisma, he's like, oh man, I want to hang out with Steve. He's a cool guy. And then Andrew has really the emotional story, and Matt's just kind of along for the ride, I feel like.
Exactly.
So
just along for the ride, just kind of like bouncing between everything, and it's kind of a wet blanket early on.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, maybe if they would have had Michael B. Jordan, have Steve be the one that survived and has to, take down Andrew in the end.
Here's your secret sequel. He really did survive.
Oh, and there we go.
His death was faked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, we get the hand out of the grave or something like that. He just pops back up.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he is able to like telekinetically like put himself back together or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
There we go. We can bring back Michael B. Jordan. Wow.
That could have, I think you're right. I think if it was a bigger name, if Michael B. Jordan if that character would have survived, I think we would have had a sequel.
Yeah. But no, anyways.
But we don't. We have one movie.
We don't.
This is what we have. So
I don't have any final thoughts on this one. How about you? Got anything to close it off with? Anything else you want to touch on?
No, I will say, rewatching this, I will watch it again at some point.
Yeah.
Years down the line, I'll watch it again. I own it. I do enjoy it. I enjoyed watching it again. But watching it this time, I realized, or maybe it's just because I've gotten older, it is a very depressing movie.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a flavor I want all the time.
Yeah.
Where when I first bought it, when it first came out, like I watched it often. I don't think I could do that again. Once in a great while.
I felt the same way. Like I was watching, whenever I was watching, I was going through and binging Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
There were certain times where I'd watch like a few episodes back to back, and I'd be like, I need to take a break for a little bit because this is getting really thick and heavy.
Really heavy, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like I could feel like emotionally drained afterwards for the rest of the day, and I'd be like, man, I need to walk away for a little bit and kind of recharge myself a bit, and I'll come back to it later. But
I need to put an episode of Titus or something like that and kind of cheer myself up a little bit.
It's definitely like sometimes where it's like, oh man, there's just like some things where it's just like, you get drained and you're just like, that's enough for now. I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Much
and
later.
I felt that way. I felt that way after watching this last night. And I got done and I'm like, Mindy had fallen asleep. And which is usually what happens when we watch any of the movies that we talk about on here. And she'd fallen asleep, and I finished it up, and it was about, I don't know, 9:30 or something. And I'm like, I gotta do something. I can't go right to sleep after this because I just feel super depressed because of like all the stuff with his mom and how he's just trying to like help his mom get better, and he's being, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I like just grabbed like a Wolverine comic and I'm reading that. And I'm like, I gotta
that'll bring you out of the funk.
Yeah. I just want to see Wolverine just like slaughter people with his claws, beat up some wolves or something. That's what I want to see.
That's funny. You finished watching it last night about 9:30. It's about the same time I finished watching. I watched it last night and I got wrapped up about 9:45. Yeah. But yeah, like that's funny. We were watching about the same time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Chronicle for me.
All right. Yeah. Well, that was fun. Yeah. Like I said, I've never seen it before, so it was fun to watch it once, for sure. When was the last time you watched it? It's been a while, huh?
It's probably been 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right. Retro ramble from last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Last week, we're a little mixed up here since you're hosting today. I had the retro ramble. And I left you with, what is your earliest memory? Period. Just the first thing you can remember thinking back upon your few years on this earth. I will go first since I asked the question. The earliest thing I can remember, I have a very vivid memory of living with my mom in an apartment. So in town there, off of Washington Street there, right before you hit the bridge, there's that car wash with the insect or whatever on it. There used to be a house right behind there. It's not there anymore. I think they've everything back behind it is leveled now. But there used to be a house, and we rented the apartment on the top floor, and there was a staircase on the outside that led up to it. I remember that apartment a little bit, but I also remember it was icy and Dad had came over to de-ice the stairs for us because they were iced over. And that's kind of one of the earliest things I remember.
Yeah.
Which I had to have been like, this is before like grade school. I had to have been like 4 at the time. I couldn't have been much older than that. Which is just wild. Because like, it is wild. Memories from like before like really like 2nd, 3rd grade, very few. Very few. Yeah. And it's around like 2nd and 3rd grade where they start to kind of like pick up the pace as far as like how much I can remember on things. But yeah, that's probably the earliest memory I got. How about you? What do you got? What's probably, if you can reach back, how far back can you go?
Believe it or not, I wasn't an infant, but I vividly remember it's a split. It's like a lightning shot. Yeah, that's it. A lightning shot and a flavor. It was me holding a bottle and drinking the formula.
Oh, wow.
I remember, or maybe it wasn't formula. I don't know. Maybe I was like maybe I was like 2 years old and I still had a bottle. I don't know. But
Well,
I
you got those little
remember
sippy cups or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like I remember holding this and I can still remember the taste of whatever it was I was drinking. But I remember the bottle was like really smooth in my hand, or the sippy. Like I know it wasn't a sippy cup. It had like I seem to remember like it had like a hole in the middle of it, like that you could grip.
Okay.
So maybe I was like 2 or something and drinking some concoction of something that my mom or dad had put in there. But I remember holding that. I was on in the house on JFK.
Oh, that old house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do remember that old house.
Yep.
I can still picture that house, like,
oh yeah,
every room all the way through it. It's crazy.
Oh, you can picture every room. I can't picture every room. I can picture our bedroom.
Yeah.
And I can picture the living room.
Oh, you actually had a separate room for a while.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah, across the hall from our room, there was a smaller room that was like your, I guess, nursery.
Okay.
Well, whenever you were like, little, and like they had a crib and everything in there. And then, whenever I guess you got old enough, they moved you into the bigger room, and then we shared it in the summers when I came up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that one was much bigger. I think it was like twice the size of that.
Oh,
one
wow.
they were using for the nursery. Yeah,
okay.
It was big. It was a big room. Both of them. I mean, all of them were. Wow. The bedrooms felt like, I remember them being big. I don't know. Maybe they weren't that big. Maybe I just remember them being big. But I remember that room we shared was big enough that we had, like 2 full-size beds, well, not full-size, but 2 twin beds in there, and like a TV, and, like we had the Nintendo on there, and all different, little things set up in there, like toys and everything. And there was enough room to kind of like, we could like play and stuff in there.
Yeah.
That's where we played Contra for the first time.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But yeah. I remember it very vividly.
Yeah.
But first memory.
Earliest memory. Yeah.
Yeah. If you got one, throw in the comments. Let us know what's the first thing you remember. Do you remember being born? That'd be wild.
That would be a feat. Yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't feet first.
No.
Got any stale popcorn for me this week?
I don't have any stale popcorn this week. I thought, and then I thought, nope, I don't have anything. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, your stale popcorn will remain stale. I have a little, like, I don't know. Yeah, so we did the top 5 bad guys last week.
Yeah.
I keep seeing them. They keep coming up. I'm going to keep adding to that list. Garrett Dillahunt. Did you ever watch the show Raising Hope?
Yeah. Well, my wife has, but yeah, I'm familiar with who you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah. He was the dad, the long hair guy.
Mm-hmm.
Seen him in a lot of stuff. He was in like the Terminator series. He played one of the Terminators.
Yeah,
he was
I remember that.
In not The Walking Dead. He was in Fear the Walking Dead. And
okay.
That's what I've seen him in most recently. But yeah, like he pops up and stuff every once in a while. I'm like, man, that guy's just so much fun. I like when he shows up and stuff. It's always really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been going back and rewatching Raising Hope, and I was just reminded of him. So yeah. I thought I'd bring it up.
All right.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
All right, Gum Under the Sea. We do have some comments to go through. We got some new ones. Actually, we had some from the last couple weeks that hadn't been addressed because we were still working through them. We are still working through them. So I'm going to give you a choice here and let you tell me what you want. I can read one, a really long one, or a few shorter ones. What would you prefer?
Let's do the really long one. I'm curious on that one.
All right.
Yeah. So I do want to address real quick, if I can interrupt you.
No, yeah.
We did have a couple of comments here while we've been talking. We usually try to say these towards the end. And Jesse Lapine, 3673, when we were talking about, I think, Andrew killing somebody. Anyway, he killed Steve too. Yes. And then the other thing when we were talking about Matt flying, at warp speed, I guess, or whatever. Jesse had also said the fork into the hand. So you remember when they had stabbed Andrew's hand with a fork and it just bent. If they could put a shield over their whole body, they could go as fast as they wanted.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Interesting perspective.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Like, we never really tested those limits. There's got to be something, because he did fly off to Tibet, like at the end there.
Yeah.
As we saw. So, yeah, they had to figure it out something, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take it. Shield over the body. Done.
There we go.
All right. As I don't know some of these names. @as.mykeek. It's at as.mycek1. I don't know if that is mykeek one. Sure. Right. Anyways, says
sure.
We were discussing the Back to the Future Part 3, and Doc Brown maybe would have held onto the gas, or there was still gas in the DeLorean, perhaps, or the whole gas thing. Like, they could have found a better way, right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, he says, here we go. When this video started talking about the plot hole from Back to the Future Part 3, what I thought you were going to bring up was the fact that Doc Brown was a scientist that was residing in Hill Valley, California in 1885. Anybody who knows their history, not me, I'm not a history buff, but anybody who knows their history knows that by the year 1885, the oil industry had already been pumping oil out of the ground of California since around the mid-1860s, which means that Doc Brown and Marty had two options. They could have either purchased a barrel of raw crude oil from one of the many oil rigs that were in operation scattered across the state of California in 1885. With Doc Brown's vast knowledge of things, science like chemistry, he could have proceeded to refine the crude oil into gasoline for the DeLorean. Token, even if Doc Brown's chemistry skills weren't up to snuff, all they needed to do was ride their horses to the closest oil refinery in California, where they were producing kerosene oil, and ask for a couple of gallons of gasoline, because Doc Brown was correct when he said that there wouldn't be any gas stations around until sometime after the turn of the century. But if you know your chemistry and your history, we've established neither one of us are experts on these things, but if you know your chemistry and your history, you would know that gasoline is a byproduct when refining crude oil into kerosene, which Americans used to light up their houses across the country prior to electricity. Kerosene, not gasoline. Also, prior to the invention of automobiles, oil refineries used to just throw away any gasoline that was produced by making kerosene oil for American households because of its highly combustible properties, which in the future would turn out to be the perfect fuel for the internal combustion automobile engines of the automobile vehicles. So Doc Brown and Marty's second option would have been to head to the nearest oil refinery in Hill Valley, California, and grab a few gallons of gasoline, which these oil refineries would have been discarding for years and years and years. There you go, a totally new and exciting plot for Back to the Future Part 3, after Marty ripped the fuel line when traveling back to 1885, trying to rescue Doc Brown from an early death. Now Marty and Doc have a plan to stage a heist of the nearby Hill Valley oil refinery to secure some much needed gasoline for the DeLorean so they both can head back to the future. That's it.
Bravo.
I know. I applaud that enthusiasm awesome. And the research that went into that. Wow. Man, talk about an answer.
Golly.
That was an education. I appreciate it.
Send that off to Robert Zemeckis.
To the Bobs.
Bob Gale. Yeah.
Right?
Man.
Should have known. Oil friend. I didn't know gasoline was a byproduct of kerosene that they were just throwing away.
I didn't know that either. Huh.
Throwing away perfectly good money. They could travel to the future and sell that for like $5 a gallon, depending on what time they showed up.
They could.
Or more in the future, I suppose.
Wow.
Depending. So, yeah.
Golly, that is like freaking Sheldon Cooper writing to us. That's nuts. That's awesome.
It's awesome, though. I love it. Yeah, this is a great essay, dissertation, or whatever you want to call it there.
I am thoroughly impressed. Like,
I am too.
Not being condescending at all. I am thoroughly impressed.
I wish I could do better with your name and give you a true shout out at as.mycek1.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you one more.
Well, okay.
One more.
What? Here's one more.
This one was more recent, and it was about me declaring that I feel like TMNT 3 was better than TMNT 2. You said it was absolute garbage. Yeah, we'll agree to disagree there. But Chayano CMD, that's CHAYNO CMD, says the only good TMNT movie was the original 1984 release. Literally every other turtle movie in existence is Tokens. So there you go.
I can't agree with that simply because
the Mutant Mayhem ones are really good.
Mutant Mayhem movie. Oh my gosh, agree there. It's so good. It's really good. Yeah.
I
would say yes. The Michael Bay one, you know, the other animated one that they did. You know,
Next Generation.
Mutant Mayhem.
Mutant Mayhem. It's a good one. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the next one.
I am too. Shredder.
I want to see Chrome Alone. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
But all right, that's our gum under the seat. Anything you want to leave the folks with before I sign us on out of here?
I'm gonna hit you with a retro ramble real quick for next week.
Oh, fine.
And fine. Okay. This is kind of a complex one, maybe.
All right.
Maybe
I'll
not.
take it down afterwards.
Okay. All right. What'd you say?
I said I'll take it down afterwards.
Okay. If you could live in one sitcom as a new, unique cast member, so like you transport you can go into any sitcom, and from like, you know, you don't know you're in the sitcom, like you're living the story from the very first episode all the way to the very last episode. All of the storylines are molded to include you in everything as a main cast member. What would that sitcom be?
Me as me, or me as like whatever I designed my character as?
Or you as whatever you design your character as. Yeah, I mean, you could be yourself, or you could just be whatever you design your character as.
All right, I like it.
Yep.
Put me in a sitcom.
Yeah.
All right. Does MASH count as a sitcom? That's a sitcom, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I've never seen MASH. I don't know.
Yeah. I love MASH. MASH is so good. MASH is so good. You're doing yourself a disservice of not watching that.
Nah, I've heard.
It's just really long.
I need to check it out. It's a lot. That's like what, 12 seasons or something like that? It's like
I watched it. I watched it like over the course of high school, like because it would be on at night at, I don't know, like 10 o'clock or something, and I would watch it before I went to bed, and I just would watch it. I don't know. I watched the whole series that way. That was back before streaming, you know, and it was on like
had to watch it the hard way with commercials.
Yeah, and everything. It was on like Hallmark Channel or something. But, yeah,
I remember that was our Aunt Kathy's one of her favorite shows.
Yeah, I've got her old T-shirt. I still got it in my dresser drawer that has BJ, Hawkeye, and can't remember who else is on there. But anyway, it says "So long, farewell, amen," and it says MASH, and it was like an original T-shirt from like the early '80s, whenever like that last season came out.
Yeah, wow, impressive. Yeah. All right, outro time. You know, you neglected to mention something. One of the reasons why we're flipping around these next couple episodes in the hosting was also because I wanted to do the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Oh, yes.
On the episode that's going to be released for March 10th, Mario Day. But that happened to be one of your episodes, and I didn't want to hijack your episode, so I offered to switch. We switched these episodes, this one and the next one. Just the hosting and, who picks the subject. But next week, we'll be back covering the Mario Brothers movie. The original Mario Brothers movie, not the new animated one. We're talking
not the good
Bob
one.
Hoskins and and what's his name? I had it right there. John Leguizamo.
John Leguizamo. Yeah.
Bob Hoskins. Yeah.
And Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper. That's right. Thank you. So yes, next week, Mario Brothers. Is it the Mario Brothers movie or is it Super Mario Brothers? I can't remember. I can't keep it straight exactly what they named it. Anyways, we'll be watching that one. That'll be interesting. We're actually we're lining up a few rougher movies in the next few weeks, so it'll be fun. We're gonna watch some. We're gonna go back and we're gonna watch some really hopeful movies.
We're on a quest to find something that's worse than The Mask.
Yeah, that maybe. Or is it really that bad? Maybe it's better than we remember. Maybe it's not that bad. Who knows?
Maybe it is.
But next week, join us. We'll be watching Mario Brothers. That'll be fun.
Yep.
Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to This Podcast Takes Tokens. Make sure you don't miss a single episode by subscribing wherever you are. And always, be kind, rewind. And until next time, we'll see you all around.
See you.